Hi, welcome to a series entitled Storytime with Jeff. I'm Jeff, and I'm going to tell you a story. See how we did that with the title, Storytime with Jeff? It's amazing, isn't it? What you're about to hear is a story. This particular story is a story out of history, and I'm going to share it with you, and it's one that you can retell to others, remember, share with friends, or forget all about it when you're done watching. It's entirely up to you. It's just a story, but it does have a meaning. This story starts in 1882. Most of us don't remember that. I don't. But a New York City businessman named Joseph Richardson owned a narrow strip of land on Lexington Avenue. If you've ever been to New York, you know where that is. The building was 5 feet, the piece of land was 5 feet wide and 104 feet long. Now, that's crazy New York City real estate, right? Another businessman, Hyman Sarner, owned a normal-sized lot adjacent to Richard's skinny one. He wanted to build apartments, and he wanted apartments that would front the avenue. So he offered Richardson $1,000 for that slender little plot, that 5-foot plot with 104 feet long. And this is now back in 1882, and he offered him $1,000. Richardson was deeply offended by the $1,000 offer and demanded, if he was going to sell it, it was going to cost $5,000. Sarner refused. They argued. Richardson ended up calling him a tightwad and slammed the door on him. Now, Sarner assumed that the vacant land, that scanty piece of property, would always remain vacant, and he instructed the architect to design the apartment building with the windows overlooking the avenue. But when Richardson heard what the plan was and how the building was to be finished, he resolved to block the view of the new building that was built. No one was going to enjoy a free view over his empty lot and not pay for it. And that's what he decided. So, at age 75, Richardson built a house 5 feet wide, 104 feet long, actually a little bit shorter than that because of zoning, and 4 stories high. 2 little mini suites on each floor. Long before there was such a thing as tiny houses, this was a tiny mini high-rise. Only one person at a time could actually ascend the stairs in this building that he built. The largest dining room table in any suite was 18 inches wide. It was called affectionately the Spite House. Richardson built the house out of spite. A newspaper reporter one time came to look, and he was a hefty kind of guy. He got stuck in the stairwell. They actually had to call the fire department to extract him from that precarious position that he found himself in. It was that tight. And Richardson, though, was practical because he moved into the Spite House. And he lived the last 14 years of his life in this narrow existence that somehow seemed to fit his very narrow state of mind. Why did he do it? He did it simply because he didn't want the people in the other building to be able to have a clear view of the street from where they were. And he didn't like the price that he was offered, so out of spite, he did what he did. That Spite house, by the way, was torn down in 1915, and so it's now nothing but a memory. But as odd as that is, and as long as you can remember that story, also remember this. Even though the house was torn down in 1915, I know people and you know people that have moved into the Spite house and they've never moved out. And what I mean by that is that they're mad at somebody. Something has happened in their past, and something has happened that has caused them to be angry and upset and uptight. And out of spite, they have decided that they will spend their time and their effort and their resources toward getting back at someone else, not forgiving someone else, and not allowing them to have full enjoyment of what could be. Spite houses are tough, and we've all been there from time to time. The key is don't move in, and definitely don't stay there. And so, take that story for what it's worth, remember it, and remember the advice, stay away from the Spite House. It'll always get you in trouble. Thanks for being with me on Storytime with Jeff. That was the story. I'm Jeff. We'll do it again next time.